What's up, guys? It's Brand here from Bloody Breakdown, and I know I've been a little shoddy here with the content the last week or two, but that's all about to change. I'm getting back on track. A couple of personal things I had to deal with, but everything back here at Bloody Breakdown is A-okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump back in with one of the more popular series I have here on Bloody Breakdown, that being the Ranked series. So you may have noticed, I don't know, by like the title down there or something, that today we're going to be ranking the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. So there are 8 of these in total, so it won't take us quite as long as Friday the 13th, maybe not as quick as Scream, but we're going to get through it, and we're going to start right now, because coming in at number 8, in my opinion, the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I have seen. And I got a feeling this is going to be a point of contention, saying that this is the worst, because there are some stinkers. My personal opinion, guys, keep that in mind. All of this is just my opinion. So agree with me, disagree with me. Either way, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. So let's start. Number 8, 2017's Leatherface. I absolutely cannot stand this movie as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. If this movie had no connection or ties to that franchise, I think that I may enjoy it more, because I feel like Leatherface is a I'm talking the 2017 Leatherface, is a better made film than some of the other films in the franchise. However, when I'm watching this movie, I don't feel like I'm watching a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I feel like I'm watching a quasi Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects type movie, almost. And it really just throws me off. I know there are some people that actually like this entry in the series, and I just don't get it. For this franchise, it doesn't make much sense to me. I get, you know, the twist with who actually was Leatherface. Really? Come on. It's ridiculous. It was just a twist for twist's sake, and I'm just not a fan of the movie. I'm really hoping something new can come along here, because that, my friends, in my opinion, is not how you want your franchise to have its last film go. So, coming in at number 7 is another one of the more recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre entries. I am talking about Texas Chainsaw, also released in theaters as Texas Chainsaw 3D. And I should have mentioned, Leatherface 2017 was a prequel to the original 74 film. This is a sequel to the original 74 film, ignoring the continuity of the second film, even though the prequel they made with Leatherface directly brings in that continuity by character names like Drayton and Nubbins and things of that nature. So very confusing franchise. But so Texas Chainsaw, aka Texas Chainsaw 3D, coming in at number 7. For me, the intro to this movie is pretty well done. I enjoyed the intro. I enjoy how they had Bill Moseley coming in. You know, he used to be Chop Top. Now they're bringing him back in to play Drayton. I thought that was really cool. After that, everything just seems to go downhill. I wasn't really too big on Leatherface, the anti-hero, in this movie. How he just kind of has a face turn at some point. I'm definitely not a fan of Do Ya Thing, Cuz. Possibly you know what, I wouldn't even say possibly, the worst line ever uttered in this franchise. And that's all I really need to say. Number 7, Texas Chainsaw 3D. So, coming in at number 6, and I feel like I'm working my way up the ladder backwards by their release date, because number 6 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Now, this one, in its order, is the prequel, not to be confused with Leatherface 2017, which is a prequel to the 1974 original film. This is a prequel to the 2003 remake. So yeah, there's this. It's got some brutal kills in it. It's just a little weird. It's a little odd. It's not horrible. I don't think it quite lives up to the 2003 remake, but it is better than some of the entries in this franchise. And I guess the less said about this movie, the better. Once again, personal opinion. So that's number 6, guys. Coming in at number 5 is a movie that is a guilty pleasure of mine, even though I will admit right here it is garbage. I'm talking about the 4th entry, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. And if you look closely here, you'll see Matthew McConaughey, alright, and Renee Zellweger, who made their film debuts in this movie. Both of them would go on to become really big movie stars and leave this genre behind. But this is where they got their start. This movie is insane. It involves the Illuminati. It involves a dude with a remote for his knee. It's insanity, and it's not a good film. It's not, but it is entertaining in the weirdest ways. Maybe it's nostalgia, I'm not sure. I'm putting it at a number 5, and I know a lot of people would have put this one dead last or a whole lot lower down on the rungs of this franchise than I would. But once again, my opinion, and it kind of holds an interesting little spot for me. And that's why I put it, you know, kind of around the middle of the list. So, anyone else out there got this movie? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Is that Clinton or McConaughey? I don't know. So, yeah. That was number 5. So, number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4 is a movie that I had to put on the better side, I guess. It's right here, dead even. But I know a lot of people are very mixed about this film as well, that being Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, or excuse me, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, because this movie did it first. And here, you know, I'll just put it to you like this. It's got Ken Faree in it. He does a pretty good job. Viggo Mortensen I appreciate in this film. The Leatherface itself, pretty good performance. It's R.A. something. I can never pronounce his last name. But for me, it just kind of, it's the perfect place to put it at number 4 out of 8. Because it's just, it's okay. It's pretty violent, it's pretty gratuitous. I thought it was a pretty decent little flick. But nothing too much stands out about it, and it's really not bad. So, let the chips fall where they may here at number 4 out of 8. Alright, moving on to the top 3 Texas Chainsaw Massacre films in the franchise, in my humble opinion. Number 3 is the 2003 remake, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And let me tell you guys, this movie right here is how you make a horror reboot, a remake rather. That is how you remake a classic slasher horror film. I thought that they did a fantastic job here. I know that his name eludes me here at the moment. Michael Bay. There you go. I know that Michael Bay kind of got a bug up his ass after this movie did so well and performed so well, and you know, wanted to remake every classic slasher film, and definitely there were some losers amongst the batch. But this one is, in my opinion, one of the best horror remakes of all time. Right up there with the 90s version of Night of the Living Dead. Can't say enough good about it as far as remakes go. Does it have its issues? Sure it does. Sure it does. But especially in the climate of the early 2000s and going forward, horror slasher remakes, they come a whole lot more problematic than this one. And this one, in my opinion, did a fantastic job of getting the point across, being original and fan-serving at the same time. So, we're going to move on to number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure it will be no surprise to anyone out there that number 2 is Part 2, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. As you can see, starring Dennis Hopper. I was a big fan of his character, the uncle of Sally, and her brother from the original. Also, the character of Stretch, Caroline Williams, I believe her name is, classic in this franchise. Classic. Gave many a young man a boner while watching this film. I think that even though they went to more of a dark comedy style in this film, it still worked so amazingly. And I think you know, maybe even Tobe Hooper thought, you know, there's no way I can follow up this classic film that I made, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's do something. You can't beat it. Do something different. So I think they did, and Chop Top, played by Bill Moseley, is iconic. Stretch is amazing. Dennis Hopper's character is awesome. They even got the original Drayton back to be you know, his character. Nubbins the hitchhiker is like a meat puppet in this movie. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's not to be taken 110% seriously, but damn it, it's amazing, and that's why I put it at number 2. One of my favorites, obviously. So that only leaves one movie, guys. And as you all know, I am 100% honest with these. I've given several franchises, didn't have the original as number 1. But when it comes to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this franchise is all kinds of fucked up. But the original is amazing, and it's a classic for a reason. This movie right here, I've actually got 2 versions of it. I have the meat packaging DVD and this Ultimate Collector's Edition 2-disc thing there. The original film is just fantastic. In the same vein as Black Christmas or Halloween, kind of introduces this, you know, taking away from the movie monsters and moving into something that's a little bit more within the realm of reality, creating slasher icons. So I can't say enough good about the original. I think we all will admit to ourselves, whether you're even a fan of the franchise or not, that that's a classic. It gave us Leatherface. It gave us 7 sequels. Well, no, it gave us 2 prequels. It gave us a remake. One of those prequels was a prequel to that remake. Sequels that don't really go in much of a logical, sequential order, and nothing really makes much sense at the end of the day, but it all comes down to that one film, the original, the 1974 classic, because without it, none of those other films, like them or hate them, would have been a part of the ether as they are now. Leatherface wouldn't be the icon he is now. And it's just one of those films that Tobe Hooper deserves a lot of credit for, because I feel like he's kind of one of those directors that kind of gets shoved, you know, under the rug when you're talking about horror. Everyone wants to talk about John Carpenter, and he's fucking amazing, my personal favorite director. Everyone wants to talk about Wes Craven, probably my second favorite director. And there's a lot of names that can get brought up, but Tobe Hooper is one of those names I feel gets left out of some discussions that he definitely should be involved in. And a lot of that is part and parcel because of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So there it is, guys. I want to know now, how do you rank the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hell, let me know what you thought about my ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise in the comment section below as well. Also, guys, if you'd like to, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell if you haven't already to never miss an upload. And of course, guys, if you check down below in the description section, you'll see links to all my social media accounts, as well as my Patreon, where you can reap the benefits, yes, the perks that come with supporting this channel. So yeah, guys, all of it's down below in the description section, and now it's your turn to interact with me. So, with that said, I'm Bren from Bloody Breakdown, and we'll catch you next time.